Hi guys, welcome to my video review of The Resistance. The Resistance is a really fun 5 to 10 player deduction and deception game by Don Eskridge, and let's talk a little bit about how the game is actually played. At the start of every game of The Resistance, you get one of two cards. These are your identity cards, and they either reveal you to be a member of The Resistance, i.e. a blue player, or a evil spy, a red player. Basically, the aim of the game is to go on missions, and if you're a Resistance member, you want all your missions to succeed because you're fighting against the big bad government. But if you're a spy, you can choose for the mission to succeed or to fail, based on how close you think the Resistance players are to catching on to you and that kind of thing. There's a certain number of spies per game, and that depends on how many players are actually playing. So every game has got one of these scorecards, and here you can see that this is an 8-player game, and for an 8-player game there are 3 spies. So the game is played over 5 missions, and each mission requires a certain number of players. As you can see here, the first mission requires 3 players, mission 2 requires 4, and so on and so forth. When you start a mission, someone is elected as the leader, and this is kind of like your first player marker. This moves along from mission to mission, and the job of the leader is to pick who you'd like to go on the team with you. So once the leader has picked his or her ideal team, you get to either vote for the mission to be approved or for the team composition to be approved or rejected, and majority rules in this situation. So once the team composition has been decided upon, everyone who goes on the team will get a set of cards. The cards read either success or fail, and these are your voting cards, and this is all done in secret. So you'll choose which card you want to vote with, and they're randomly jumbled up so people don't know whose is whose, and then the results are revealed, and it takes only one fail card to fail the mission. So spies are going to have to be very, very clever in terms of when they decide to play their fail cards, or when they try and sort of hide and blend in with the other Resistance members to keep them off their tracks. It's basically the best of 5 missions wins. If Resistance win 3 missions, then they win. If the spies win 3 missions, then they win. And round wins are marked with this little marker: blue for Resistance and red for spies. So let's have a look at the components that you get in the box in more detail. So let's take a look at what you'll get when you open up the Resistance. The first thing you'll find is a nice thin little rule document, just kind of outlining the basics of the game and how it's played. It's a very straightforward game, so you don't have a whopper of a rule book to go with it. Next thing are these score sheets, and this outlines how many players go on certain missions, how many spies you have per game depending on how many players there are, and it's also used to keep track of the score. Then you have the leadership marker, which outlines who's the leader of a particular mission and gets to choose the team. Once the leader's chosen his ideal team composition, there are these approve and reject markers, and that's what you use to vote on whether you're happy with the composition of the team and you want them to go ahead, or whether you'd like to have a revote, and majority rules in this case. So there's a few of those. These are all high quality cardboard pieces. These are the score markers, which indicate whether the Resistance or the spies were successful on that particular mission, and are just used to keep track of the score of the game. These gun markers are used to indicate who has been chosen to go on a certain mission, so the leader will hand these out to the people that he would like to go on the mission. This is the round marker. This just indicates what round the players are busy on, and this is the vote marker. If the team composition is rejected 5 times, the spies automatically win that mission. Up next are the spy and Resistance cards, which are handed out in secret at the beginning of the game. Then you have your fail and success cards. These are what you use to either tank the mission that you're on or vote for it to succeed. And finally, there are these expansion cards that just add a little extra layer or an extra dimension to the game. These expansion cards are optional. So now it comes time for me to give my opinion of The Resistance, and would I recommend it? I would. It's a really great party game, but like all party games, it really depends on the group that you have playing it. If you get a bunch of dry, boring people who are not really willing to get involved and get into character and really play along, then it's not going to be a good experience. But if you have a group of fun people who are willing to kind of laugh and have a good time and really get into the roles, then it's one of the more fun party games you'll ever play, and I give it a 9 out of 10.